Woke up in a feverish sweat. It was another one of those nights. I had the same nightmare. Walt Disney let their intellectual property go into public domain. I felt sick, but thinking of vomit made me think of Pepsi, so I held it in. My diabetes was acting up. Pacemaker says I'm dangerously close to dropping below type 2. I needed something to calm my nerves. A Krispy Kreme, Coke Vanilla, and a needle full of heroin. Just what the doctor ordered. I think we communicated through several language barriers. Somewhere between the Aramaic and clerical Hebrew, I can't help but think we lost something in the translation. Men enjoy the goth girl aesthetic because it represents a woman that's externally consistent with her inner state. That is to say, evil. While the city is overrun by shape-shifting Hasidics, the best part about shotgun diplomacy is you already know the answer each time. I checked the shadows. You know what I found? Me stealing your diamonds, battering your wife, and reporting you for domestic abuse. It's nothing personal. I just need a higher social credit score so I can get out of this hellhole. After all, they know their audience. Women for the porn-sick gooners, women for the e-kittens dating them, and children for Jax players. Just last week, I googled one C++ tutorial. I now own 6 pairs of programming socks. I don't even know how it happened. Then I realized the title of the video doesn't have to be accurate. My wife screaming at me for having an affair, as I have no option to explain to her that I have no relation to this giant black serpent, and it only holds feelings of intimacy for me because I implanted it with a love parasite. I could forcibly drink someone under the table, and when they're passed out, I could kidnap their body and rob them blind, which is exactly what I did for the next hour, until everyone was running around in sub-zero temperatures in boxer shorts. I can confidently tell you, infant mortality has no effect on the happiness of your population. For the Zoomers that don't have an internal monologue or the ability to visualize an apple inside their mind's eye, here's what the game looks like to the rest of us. Naturally, it's not for everyone, but if you're neurodivergent and your nickname at school used to be Active Shooter, you might enjoy this. I also got informed that I had a secret admirer. Who, may I ask? Well, the person telling me. And just like that, I had a significant other. She sleeps on the floor. Sorry, honey. The bed is reserved for me and the monkey. As we lay together and pick lice out of each other's hair, our bond strengthens. Originally, I was going to joke about this, but as I wrote the words Sloppenheimer in my script document, I felt deeply disgusted with myself and took a cold shower. However, like a mama bird vomiting my regurgitated food into your mouth, I know what you truly need. Citizens typically prefer locals over immigrants. Lighting a cigarette against the pregnant darkness, I go for a walk. I'm cutting down, which is why I cut off the filter. Like a dog showing you its stomach, I send the tobacco a clear message. I trust you. Forget the MBTI or whatever. Remember, aliens, you're no match for the indomitable human spirit. I've met men who could goon for 36 hours straight. I've met stronger men who could flicker goon for 7 seconds. Humanity always has and always will overcome adversity because we have something you don't. Stupidity. Son, I have a confession to make. I invested your entire trust fund into based Groy per coin, and unfortunately, I lost everything. Luckily, I still had $500 to buy the new Faker Ari skin. Please, don't rope yourself. Think of how much rope I'm going to be shooting when your diabetic mother cosplays her at PAX East. Unfortunately, we're in debt, and I'm forced to sell you off to a wealthy, charismatic homosexual. Please, forgive me in the same way that I've already forgiven myself. No, what happened was I ate shit to see what happens, and I saw the animation, and I thought it was really funny. The story is very simple. You and your friend Drevin enlist in PMC Wagner.
Oh my lord, I don't care. Wait,
An age ago, Zerum.
I skipped
Don't care.
Anyway, we get captured as war criminals because we attacked a UNESCO heritage site. This is Pokemon through the lens of a man addicted to fentanyl. Good luck on the second cycle of degradation. You play as a cosmic ICE agent, receiving a report that Gorgon, 5th horseman of the apocalypse, has illegally crossed the Etherian border with intent to cut grass for $7 an hour as an undocumented illegal. We can't let this go on, so we ask the Dark Dwarves, that's not racist, they're dwarves of color, to cast Earthquake on his illegal encampment and seal him inside for all eternity. Consuming Century Egg was a poor decision. This does nothing because the plague is actually caused by shard souls, which are the spirits of aborted NBA players, haunting the Planned Parenthood. I haven't progressed very much as an adult, and I'm struggling with an hour-long video game that's old enough to be the child bride that died giving birth to me. Race is an interesting topic. Some races don't get along. Some races are predisposed to crime. Some races control our educational sector, our labs, and our academia. But what else am I supposed to do when everyone else hates education? I'm talking, of course, about none other than humans. Humans are troublesome, criminal, and have the lowest sanity score of any race. Plead, cry, and defecate in front of my neighbors, and a pathetic display made me an unattractive target for assault. Also, I never checked which voice lines I gave my ranger, which is apparently
Lock up your children.
Discord moderator. Tyler 1 got permabanned, now he's a father. Video Game Donkey banned himself, now he's pregnant. I got 30-day chat restricted. Now I take subcutaneous clitoral injections of 5cc trenbolone, and I've never felt better. Despite doing this for several years, I have never figured out how to use a microphone, and for this, I sincerely apologize.
Buenos días, amigos.
I'm currently in Mexico. Don't ask why. Watching anything other than Dragon Ball Z in my area is punishable by death. Hold on, I've got another problem. Every website is defaulting to this strange alien language I've never seen before. I brought it to the local university, and after an hour of debate between the world's most premier anthropologists, they've identified it as Spanish. It would take a lifetime of study to decide which of these myriad incomprehensible buttons are hiding the language options. A lifetime that I cannot spare. The cartels won't wait for you, but I will. You cannot suppress the human condition. We are the sons of the retards you could not lobotomize. I've been reading a lot of comments saying, lol, Sseth isn't uploading, he's busy digging tunnels under the synagogue. These jokes hurt my feelings and cause me to self-harm. Okay. The first 100 to use the link win a free chemical castration or prefrontal lobotomy. Terms and conditions may apply. People pass by as I log into my Twitter alt and send out a credible threat to a Minecraft YouTuber. For some of us, it's not about the recognition. It's about doing our part. This is a city that never sleeps. Plague Lords are the servants of King Ass Ripper, a direct manifestation of anything that lives or survives the Indian sewage system. Watching this game unfold is like giving a 20 to your local tweaker. After the gas station dick pills and 2 hits of Bang Energy kick in, it's impossible to predict his next move. And yet, it's strangely captivating to watch him wrestle an officer while urinating with a full erection. Speaking of which, our sponsor. Use offer code ChastityCage for 45% off. The same woman who committed adultery tried to seduce me. Honoring my beloved, I rejected her advances. So she threatened to kill me if I said no. And she did. So I reloaded and tried to beg for forgiveness. Instead, she let me off lightly by breaking my legs, until we found a Kryptonian with his eyes scooped out. On the body was a note, signed Jake the Invincible, claiming that he's saving lives by returning them to his forgotten god. Win or lose, the only victory is choosing not to play. Hello, chud. Apply your finasteride and strap in. No matter how much their mother drank during pregnancy, in general, this is a very nice game that you could show your grandma. It's not some NTR RPG Maker slop that would surely break her pacemaker. We're not using time travel to stop ourselves from eating glue. This is a race through time to see who can eat the most glue. However, I have room temperature IQ and I'm conditioned like a Pavlovian dog that each time I hear that Discord notification, I am compelled to tab out and ruin everything. The longer you hear them, the longer you can't unhear them. This is when most players are driven insane. There is an unwritten rule enshrined in the YouTube landscape. You must unconditionally love India, because no matter how powerful or self-important you feel as a YouTuber, you bow to the same tech center in New Delhi, and you live by their mercy, because with a single click, Rakesh and Pajit can evaporate your entire existence. My channel is firmly aligned with Lord Ganesha and the Indian people, for your tech support is now your tech master. I tried to swim north and got eaten by a great white shark. This came out of nowhere, so it scared the shit out of me. This was the worst jump scare I've ever had. I got crinkles in my diaper and was very afraid, so I'm giving this game a 0 out of 10. This is 4 retards versus God's final form, but I don't have time for that. In the game's own words, the black ones don't work. There is no other situation where the following words can be said. The cotton pickers are having another uprising. The Semitic capitalist fears the self-sufficient rice farmer. This is the literary equivalent of a toddler starting a sentence, forgetting where he was, and going to sleep. Much like a trailer park is much more of a gene pond than a gene pool, your choice of partner has consequences on your child's pedigree. You need to choose the right Chinaman or China woman to chintegrate into your lineage. This is the equivalent of an online debate, where the objective is to mentally break your opponent. Instead of vigor, you use spirit, and depleting someone's spirit will put them in hysteria. And hysteria can lead to death. This game lets you troll someone to death. He's turned to stone and dies, presumably as an involuntary celibate. This is staffed by people who are referred to as an incomplete person, who are missing their precious treasure. This is a very Chinese way of saying they lost their penis. Once I saw a man standing off the side of a pier, tears rolling down his eyes as he told me, "I can't trust anyone. That's why I ride myself." He auto-filleted himself on the spot and rolled away like a meat-powered wheel. Never did catch his name. I thought I was girl boss of this empire, but in truth, I was nothing but the boss baby. The translations can range from English to absolutely esoteric. I need money for fentanyl. The time travel rules have either been making sense or the oxygen deprivation has finally gotten to me. I'll reiterate, time is a sapient entity which manually resolves paradoxes by handpicking contestants for a deathmatch. Everything you need to know about a person's character you'll learn from watching ranked solo queue. Dark elf baddie with blood running down her eyes will captivate the undisciplined gamer. I can't solve this mystery on the physical plane. I need crystal meth to go to Hyperborea and ask Yakub directly. Audio files. These are people who molest music instead of children.
I ate rare water buffalo from Zhengzhou wet market, and I feel ill at ease.
On the other hand, I found out slavery is actually quite well received, as my citizens enjoy a slave population so long as it's not their own. Hello, ma'am. Have you seen anyone suspicious? Uh-huh. Here, take this. There are three things I value in this life: my mother, my data, and your mother. Hey, buddy, I'll pay you $100 to fuck off and let me trash your apartment.
Okie dokie. I'll just go back to sleep.
Wait, did you just shoot someone? You just shot someone. I apologize. This usually never happens. An open mind is an open bussy. Its gates unbarred and unguarded. But most importantly, they have sheep. Ah yes, let me just sign in with my Lego account. Door dashing, a bottom-friendly diet, prepares the League player for a lifetime of incontinence. Then again, this is a comparison between playing with emotionally unstable Germans and whoever hasn't been conscripted to the front lines. They're not playing to win, they're playing to forget, because this is their last solo queue before getting deployed to Donbass. Ask yourself this: who owns the Wi-Fi you use to browse all your favorite content? Is it your mom? My mom? Your boss? Perhaps your local public library? We sent the killer into the arena to be chopped into pieces for the spectacle of a crowd. We gave their body as much respect as it deserved. We pissed on it and dumped it into a mass grave. And you'll continue in the hopes of finding a mentally unstable e-girl with borderline personality disorder, so her insane demonic genes may combine with your autism. You will flood the earth with your autistic nonverbal offspring, because one day you will play a competitive MOBA together, and if you're not prepared for that, you're going to be calling each other ethnic slurs for the last time, because your e-friendship is over. Turns out, force-feeding people shit, gouging out their eyes, and repeatedly breaking their legs was completely unnecessary, and says a lot more about myself. It's no longer just a slime. It's Frederick. The monkey can beg for money, which infuriates the local beggar, as I'm taking away from his local business. In this game, beggar is a profession, and just like doctors operate clinics, beggars operate churches, because apparently the only barrier between recruiting demons and vampires to join your ranks is socioeconomic. I get my evidence the old-fashioned way, following a woman home to her place of residence and hiding inside her septic tank until I expire. When they discover my body, the police will do the rest. And what did I get? Ants. It's very simple. You pick a race, a class, and a god. This is similar to real life, where, based on channel demographics, most of you are Albanian. Appropriately, we'll be playing this on my laptop, which may be described as a haphazard collection of live wires that'll shock you if you ever touch the top of it, but personally, I like to call it rustic. Many years ago, it stopped working until I dug up the instruction manual and ripped out the thermal sensor. This is incredibly safe. Don't let the warped Avril Lavigne and Eminem stickers tell you otherwise. It can no longer support a battery, and I jury-rigged a new power switch because I broke the old one. But hey, it's got excellent airflow, and the exposed left speaker is a fun and entertaining fidget toy for all to enjoy. Just as long as you don't move it, touch it, and whatever you do, don't put it on your lap, because that's how you get burns. It's a piece of shit that served me well. This game is a fusion between highbrow and higher chromosome. The best builds are either made by master theory crafters or a Down syndrome savant, and there's no in between. Of the 5 indecent exposers, all 5 have been dwarves. I have no further comment. In high school, we used to choke each other out during art class to get high. This went on for a while, until the teacher caught us. That's why I don't have to explain to you why I began my journey drop-kicking roosters and fighting with a family dog. And there's no greater satisfaction than having an elegantly designed lavatory for optimal shitting, pissing, and sharding. My brain expanded, and my neurons started firing. He neon genesised across the room, very evangelianly. The late Confucian philosophy of CBT maximalism, the king of many colors, and I don't like any of them. Scammers, tricks, open source developers. I've seen some sick things in my time. My Kaizen V-Love Plus implant can instantly sniff out if someone's an incel or in a committed polycule. But more importantly, if they have any spare change, I don't beg for money. I just ask 19 times and that's it. They say, don't judge a book by its cover. I say, physicality reflects inner state, and all the most horrible people I've ever encountered look like something that escaped the minds of Moria. Poverty also has its advantages. Scoop out your cone cells with a spoon, snitches get stitches, and if it were up to me, we'd take you to Birmingham and stone you to death in Sharia court. So you hop in bed, goon for 36 hours straight, and when you get a new murder notification, hop out of bed, break your own window, and plummet 20 stories to the streets below, which we survive because we're genetically modified to be immune to fall damage. In this game, there's only one active ability: prayer. The game takes place after a cosmic invasion has permanently transformed our world into the world of Skibbity Toilet. Their lifeless body is found at the computer, and their parents cry as they explain to the coroner that the purple-skinned midget dwarves their son was fapping to was in fact popular characters Lulu and Tristana from League of Legends. All I wanted was 30 enemies, but it seems now I'm going to need 30 body bags. Decision paralysis corrodes every content creator. However, my autism has been cured. Thank you, Lexapro, and most of all, thank you, Allah, for your glorious blessings each day. I've been bell-curved. Everyday objects are no longer your friend, and you will die at the hands of a Funko Pop. Ronald Reagan was crushed to death by his karmic debt. Thankfully, our new president, the Coca-Cola Company, has continued his righteous task of filling ghettos with crack cocaine. The inside of a woman's toilet bowl. Anything is possible. This is my 600-pound life, or as some might say, the ideal female form. I've spent the last 15 hours inhaling nitrous and holding left-click. Chat filters in moderation don't fix the problem. They only serve to stifle the Aryan spirit. Feed the earth, and it will feed you. But we fed the earth so much that nature herself is vomiting up red. There's too many prisoners of war, and not enough mass graves to go around. To address some allegations, I'd like to ask a simple question. Are you really upset because I was on the flight logs? Or are you upset because you were never invited? Do you like gambling? Do you like griefing yourself? Because playing a shaman is the ultimate gamble core experience. Remember, 99% quit before they win big. There is no in between. Either I win or I kill myself. Do you enjoy putting your testicles in a vice grip and squeezing them until they burst like a little grape? Additionally, every dollar spent on League is a dollar spent on the 2027 reunification of Chinese Taipei. Now, I can go about my normal business to Google things like what to do if very poor, how to make money for rent, and is it healthy to eat cement, and accelerates your Alzheimer's by expanding the Swiss cheese in your brain. Embarrassed, I resorted to using the method real cops use to catch killers. I sit on my ass eating donuts and wait for them to kill again. Murder is like romance in a male prison. It requires a perpetrator and a victim. After the many lessons learned, alcohol is haram, cooking is forbidden, and our entire food pyramid is bread. You can easily cover all your expenses by committing more crime than you actually solve. At this point, you may as well tell me I'm looking for a circumcised male in a small town of New York. What is the worth of a human life? I can't give you that answer, but I can tell you the worth of an elvish life. 62 meat and 17 leather. once you really peel them down by lacing her drinking water with fluoxetine for the same effect. Look, I'd love to keep holding your hand, but I can't. But is it worth it? No, I am the Manchurian Candidate. My MK Ultra activation phrase could be any line of dialogue from this game.
God, I hope it's not mating season.
Dinosaurs. These are the old depictions before people realized that God just made oversized chickens. Coming from a race of people with a history of being fried in DiGiorno easy bake ovens, parting with $60 was a difficult decision. Come back in a few years when surrender votes start at 10 minutes and simply thinking of a racial slur activates Vanguard. For reference, at a consumption rate of half an apple a day, a fully grown tilapia child costs us 32 apples, but gives us twice that amount in meat and leather. And once they're adults, we arrest, execute, and butcher them. Dark elves at least have a solution to this problem, and it's called slavery. Each day, I leave a dirty dish on the counter. Each day, I come back, and the ants establish a new Silk Road to carry my table scraps. League players are much the same. The personal computer is a modern manifestation of Solomon's Temple. Almost every other race dislikes intellectualism and prefers to be indoctrinated. YouTubers are a prime example of making the most amount of money with the least amount of skill and intellect. In a fair society, these are the people who should be toiling in the coal mines and dying of black lung. What else? They're also known for violating human men for several days before they cannibalize them. In high school, we used to nipple cripple each other. If you're not familiar, that's where you grab both nipples and twist painfully, usually in the changing room when they're most vulnerable. Until one of our friends told us that's how a kid got nipple cancer, because he got nipple crippled too often and it became a tumor. We knew the story was bullshit, but we were scared, and we never did it again. A baby becomes a child, and a child becomes eligible for labor at 4 years of age. And you send me back in time to introduce your father to competitive League of Legends. You can watch me leave, and you'll be perfectly fine. Then, on Mission 51, you no longer exist, because you never existed. Who are you? My name is Sseth Tzeentach, private investigator, professional gang stalker. And this is my office for the next 50 minutes. After that, I gotta buy something. Why am I telling you all this? Because together, we're gonna clean up these streets. So, what have we learned today? 1. Prisoners are the ultimate cash crop. Labor is a resource, and so are they. 2. Look past people and their differences, and see them instead as a source of protein. 3. Much like real life, retirement is economically unfeasible, and exists only as a carrot and stick to motivate the working class. Also, I found out groin kick has a chance to permanently crush your balls. Do with this information as you will. I have no idea who these men are, and I'm not complicit in any crimes. Your Honor, have a good one.